What is up, guys, and welcome to the channel. My name is Guenther. I'm a professional wakeboarder and water sports enthusiast of all sorts, and today we are breaking down my pro model wakeboard for 2026, the Liquid Force Ethos. Let's do it.
Parched land, no desert sand, sun is just the dot, and a little bit of water goes a long way, 'cause it's hot. Three good buddies were laughing and smoking in the back of a rented Ford. They couldn't know they weren't going far.
Well, you can't really ride a boat wakeboard without a boat, and the boat that we're on today is the 2026 Axis T250. Been loving the wake on this thing, been riding it for almost a whole year now. If you want to design your own, head over to axiswake.com to see more for yourself. So before we fully dive into this board and start unwrapping it, it has a cool backstory. I was working with Jimmy Redmond all the way back into 2022 and into 2023. We were looking to redesign my pro model. As we were going through the design process, I ended up blowing my knee, which took me off the water for, a good 8 to 9 months. But right before I blew my knee out, I get this box of boards shipped to my house. And it was almost like just fate or fortune, or I don't know what you want to call it. But when I got injured, I'm just staring at these boards. So we'll fast forward past those 8 months of injury and get to when I actually got to ride these boards. So 2023 comes and goes, and I'm finally back on the water. But when I come to get back on the water after my knee rehab, Jimmy's got a brand new box of boards sitting at the door for me, insisting that, hey, you need to go and ride these. And so I go and ride them. And they're good, but they're not great. They're not perfect. They're kind of breaking, and they just feel a little off. And so I kind of was digging through the garage, and I found that box of boards that showed up right before I got injured, and I pulled one out and took it for a set. And let me tell you about, the magical feeling when you get on a board that just clicks. There's something special about it. And I accidentally found my board again. This lost board completely changed my riding and brought my stoke back to another level. It was just light and nimble, responsive, but yet strong. It kind of had all these different things going for it. So let's dig into what makes this Ethos what it is. And then I'm gonna unwrap this thing, hey? So these boards that kept breaking were a combination of wood, foam, and carbon. And that combination, it just wasn't really working. It wasn't happening. The magic combo though was just wood and foam, eliminate the carbon. But where that wood went is super important. It's really just a small amount that runs from right about here all the way up through this outside line of the board. And then we filled the center with super lightweight foam, so essentially creating this magic hybrid construction. By putting wood through this outside edge, it creates a spring-like effect into the board, meaning that wood has this magical property where it can take a lot of impact, kind of go out of its original shape, but then rebound back to its original shape, which kind of creates this energy through the board where when it pops off the wake, it kind of is rebounding, but then it's spring loading you up into the air, but it's having that same effect on the landings where the board is kind of taking that energy from the landings and distributing it through the wood, then it, boom, bounces back to retain its original shape. And while we were going back to the drawing board, I wanted to make this board not just for me, but for you too. And the reason I wanted to do that is I wanted to make it easier to ride. And so we did that by actually taking the tip and tail and widening it just a little bit. So this put more surface area on the board, which takes more pressure off your arms and allows the board to just kind of cruise a little bit easier over top of the water. This also slowed down the way that it hooks up edge to edge, so making it less twitchy and less aggressive and just more smooth and controlled. However, with the widened tip and tails, that slows the board down just a little bit. So to counter this, we put a nice big concave right through the tip and tail there, helping to speed up the board. And we flattened out the rocker line into more of like a continuous rocker line shape to help give it a little bit of extra speed. With this continuous rocker line as well, it really helps the board hit and connect with the wake 100% of the time, meaning that you don't really have to worry about striking out where you go to hit the wake and nothing happens. We wanted to eliminate that. We wanted to make sure that you are getting good connection, 95 to 99% of the time. This board also has a slight bevel on the edge. And what that means is that the bottom of the board is slightly raised up towards this edge profile. That allows for more forgiveness when breaking the board loose, doing butter slides, essentially resisting that urge for the board to want to catch an edge and take you down with it. So that helps make this board just a lot more forgiving, really fun and playful. So out of the box, your 137 and your 141 Ethos will come with 0.7 fins on them. Your 145 here, which is the size that I ride, will come with 1-inch fins on them. The best part though is that they're bolt-on fins, so you can take them off and swap them for anything that you like. And what I've been riding is actually our new ASIM fins. You can find these on Luca Kid's Origin board, but I took the liberty of stealing a couple pairs and slapping them on my board. And the rounded off edge, hence the ASIM name, keeps the board even more playful, even more loose. So head over to liquidforce.com and you can be able to find these fins on the website, but it's worth playing around, changing up the ride. Also, the boots that I'm running are gonna be the 6X Vertex. So this was a new boot in 2025. They just kind of changed up that colorway to kind of match the board in 2026. This is a high cut boot, meaning that it kind of comes up to a higher length on your ankle, which creates a ton of support. The boots are quite stiff right out of the box, but they break in really nicely over time to give you a bunch of stability through the boot, but enough flexion to where you can actually still poke and kind of steeze out all those grabs. My typical setup for when I'm riding the boat as well would be riding 75 feet at 22.5 miles an hour. However, in the set that you just watched, I was at 65 feet at right around 20.8 miles an hour with just stock ballast here on the Axis T250. It's totally worth just playing with your rope length and your speed to find that happy medium because you don't always have to be going full throttle, full send all the time. There's a cruisy way to ride too, and it's a whole lot of fun. So guys, that is the 2026 Ethos. Just a really fun board. It's a different board, but it's totally one that I think is worth experimenting with. And just if you're looking for a board that can kind of do it all in all different conditions, take a look at liquidforce.com to find this board and any other board that's out there. But thanks so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.